Hey everyone, Nate here with Soda City Boards again. I'm going to go over another video in my little series that I do of my most popular sellers. This time I'm going to be going over Leatherette patch hats. Here's some examples of the Leatherette patches and hats that I've done so far, just two of the many that I've done. The Leatherette comes in many different colors. And I purchased it from Create with 614. They have Leatherette, and then they have Leatherette with adhesive for hat press, which is over here behind me on my other desk. I get the one with the adhesive, so that way I can engrave it, cut it, and then heat up my hat press and stick it on, get it lined up properly, and then the hat press does the rest of the work after setting it to the proper temperature and timing that it needs to be pressed. My two most popular colored Leatherette patches that I do would be the red. This one engraves to be black, so the design that's engraved will be black while the background will be red. And then the other popular one is actually a black Leatherette, which engraves. As you can see, I did a power speed test here to test the settings that I wanted to use to my xTool D1. This will engrave and the design will show silver. Those are the two most popular Leatherette colors that I have used so far that everyone seems to love and be a fan of, and I can't keep enough of that in stock in my shop. So as you can see here, I've done some changes to my xTool since the last video that I did. I have added the laser module extension, which I bought from Deep Designs off of Etsy, which is awesome because I can keep the risers on them at all times and not have to swap them out when I want to do tumblers or anything big. So I'm glad that I bought this, and I recommend it if you'll be switching back and forth between thicker objects and such. I don't have a honeycomb yet. I have not decided to purchase one because what I've been using has worked perfectly fine for me. I'm actually using little baker's racks that I bought from Hobby Lobby. I bought a pack of 2 for a couple bucks, and they have worked out fantastic. I'll normally set it down, and sometimes they are wobbly, so I will take some tape and I'll tape each side along there. And when I tape it, I try to get it so that it's nice and flat, not wobbly anymore or anything. So my next step is I'm going to take my Leatherette and I try to make it somewhat straight along here, and I actually take tape and tape it off onto the baker's rack so that it stays down and doesn't curl up while the laser is engraving. So here I have it so that it's nice and smooth and won't curl up while engraving. So here's my screen that I'm going to show my settings that I use for my Leatherette. Each color will engrave differently, especially the ones that don't engrave black. So you will need to do a power speed test to figure this out. I've done it on every single color I've used, and it's worked great for me. And I've had nothing but great outcomes with the settings that I use. So on my red Leatherette, I go with 6,000 millimeters per minute, 70% power, 1 pass, and then I do a 0.080 line interval, and that's for my engraving. And then for my cutting, I do it at 600 millimeters per minute, 100% power, and I do 3 passes. When I do these, I only run the air assist while I'm cutting, so I will do the engraved portion first, and I will watch my product while it's engraving, and right as the cutting's about to start, that's when I'll switch on the air assist for it. Leatherette patch is cut. Here's the finished product of it. Before I do anything with it, I like to use some isopropyl alcohol, and I put it on a little paper towel, get it wet a little, and then I actually wipe and clean off the patches before I press them on, just so that way if any of the residue is loose and is going to come off, I don't want it on the part of my hat press and getting other patches or hats dirty. So here's the patch that we just made. The next step is going to be getting it placed onto a hat and then pressing it with the hat press. So here's my hat press. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's Vivor, and I have my settings already pre-done based off the manufacturer that I buy the leatherette from, which is a heat of 285 degrees Fahrenheit, a press time of 15 seconds, and it needs a medium pressure, which I can adjust right here with this. So here we have the hat press heating up over here, which is 280 up to 285 degrees Fahrenheit. Got my patch, peeled off the backing so the stickiness is on. Now I'm going to try to line it up centered on this hat to where I want it. I'm going to press down a little, get it on there good. And now it's all lined up for me, and now we just wait for the hat press to heat up, finish heating up before we can press it. So now our hat press is heated up to the temperature. I actually bought a silicone sheet that goes over top of the pat. Saw it recommended in some of the groups that we use for our laser for recommendations and stuff, so I purchased it and have been using it ever since. I just lay it over top and get it smooth so that the patch goes on properly. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the press. I like to push down, get it nice and smooth.